This video is going to introduce you to my Canvas page. So when you log on to Canvas, this should be the screen that you see. Now the title of your course might be different depending on whether or not you're taking Math Grade 7, whether you're taking Pre-Algebra, or whether you're taking Math Grade 7 Core. The same general format's going to apply to all three classes, so I just chose this page since I have the most amount of information up here currently. Keep in mind, Canvas might be new to you, so that's why I'm creating this video. I want to make sure that I show students and parents, and I'll be going through this with the students in the classroom as well, but I want to show you around the Canvas page so you can get an idea of what to find on here, where to find it, and this is really where you're going to be looking for all of the resources for this class. So I want to make sure that we give you a little introduction video here, and of course you can ask me questions during class as well, or email me if there's questions or concerns or something's not showing up or it's not updated. Just let us know. I know a lot of you are familiar with Google Classroom. Canvas is really similar. I know we're looking at, as a district, moving towards using Canvas for every class, so it will be something you want to get used to using. So let's take a look. Ignore all my tabs at the top. You can see how many different things I'm working on to create stuff for our virtual learning environment and our in-class environment as well. So there's quite a bit there. And might be able to hear my son crying in the background. He's upset because he cannot come downstairs while I'm recording this video. But when you log on, this is what your homepage should look like. I did make a Bitmoji Classroom this year just to, spice it up a little bit since Canvas isn't necessarily the prettiest format. Um, but I did create this homepage so that when you log on, this is what you should see. There's some active links along the left-hand side. I'll give you I'm not going to click on each one of these, but give you a chance, of course, to click on them at some point and explore. And I would encourage you to take some time to do that, especially the first week of school before things really get going. So one of the links is about Math 7. It might say about pre-algebra, depending on which course you're taking. It just gives you some information about what we're going to be learning in the course this school year. The next one is our office hours link. So I'll be holding office hours on Fridays this year. I may add some other times during academic enrichment, depending on what the schedule holds, but that kind of changes week to week. But I will have links to the office hours Zoom links. I kind of repeated myself there, but there'll be links for the Zoom office hours. There will also be just information about when office hours are available and offered. So you can certainly click on that. It will also show up underneath the modules tab. So probably the most important button is modules. You can also click it on the left-hand side here. That should show up on your screen. That's where you're basically going to find all of the content for the course, from um, worksheets, handouts, guided notes, answer keys for those things, any assignments that I assign, whether they're ones that I give you from in class, whether they're ones that I make virtual or digital that you would submit here on Canvas. Basically, everything that you need to find for the course will be underneath modules. Canvas help as well is if you're struggling with Canvas. I'm not a tech support person and I'm still learning Canvas in some ways as well. I can help, but you can also click on the Canvas help button. There's also, I believe, a help desk through the district itself if there's technology issues that you're having. And then the only other active thing on here is me. So if you click on me, it'll take you to information about me, which is in the beginning of your handouts as well. So I'm going to go back to the home page here. And again, just explore, click around. You guys have been raised and grown with technology. It's a little newer for myself and possibly your parents as well. That we're still learning it, but we can certainly figure a lot of things out on our own. So just click around. I'm going to go into the modules page at this point because this is, again, probably the most important space for you. And I'll be adding information throughout the year as well. So at the very top of the page should be course information. And this is the same for all of my courses for the most part. There's beginning of school year handouts. So when you click on this, it'll take you to, these are buttons that you can then click on. I'll give you hard copies of these in class if you're meeting with me in class and not in the core class. Otherwise, if you're in the core class, these will be online and available for you to access. But there's a parent information packet. Some things have changed since I created them because, we're doing this hybrid schedule, and who knows, even in the next week before school starts, things could change again. Student expectations and procedures packet, something I'm not going to spend nearly as much time going through this year because things are, again, a little different, and we're going to have only half the students in at a time approximately, at least for the beginning of the year. There's going to be a little bit more talk about what my Canvas page looks like, what's going to be expected of you, especially when you're doing things virtually, how you can get help and things like that. So, these are still good and beneficial for you to read through, and we'll get through as much of them as we can in class. But these are things that I typically give students at the beginning of the year. So I'm going to go back here. Again, the Canvas help page, you can access that from the home page, and the office hours, which you can access from the home page as well. I'm not going to click on those. It will just give you information about when the office hours are, as well as links to any Zoom meetings that are available for you. Probably the most important area for you is going to be the agenda and expectations underneath the weekly agendas. So when you click on this, it's going to take you to a table. And there's one for Group A students. Those are the students attending, and this is specific to my hybrid students. For my core students, you're just going to see one set of links for the weekly agenda, since that'll be the same for everyone in core. But I did make a separate chart for Group A students who meet Monday and Wednesday in school and are virtual, sorry, Monday and Tuesday in school, and Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are virtual, and a different one for my Group B students who will be in class Wednesday, Thursday, and then virtual Friday, Monday, Tuesday, just so it didn't get too confusing with everything on one. So if you're a Group A student, you're going to click here. Group B student, you're going to click here. I'm actually going to click on the first week of school. I've been working really hard to get everything updated here. You're going to see that it says A at the top as well. But this table is really going to be important for you because what it does is it gives you all the information you need for each day. Now, you're with me Monday and Tuesday if you're a Group A student. Group B is going to look a little different, but it's the same content either way. So we're going to be doing all this stuff in class, so you may not see as much detail here, but a lot of times what I'll do is I'll make these active links. And I'll show you where you can find these elsewhere on my page. But for example, the first day of school, whether you're an A or B student, we're going to be going over the It's All About You student information sheet. So for my Group A students, that will be Monday. For my Group B students, that will be Wednesday. And I'll show you that on the Group B chart. But we'll have you fill this out so I get to know you a little bit. I'm going to do the Canvas introduction and exploration. So, if you're listening to this before I do it, you're just going to get it double duty, which is okay as well. But I do want to make sure to show you my Canvas page and walk through it. And then we'll start getting out the beginning of year handouts and going through the procedures and expectations. And then on Tuesday, we'll kind of go through some of the procedures, the expectations, and just what I expect of you virtually as well. Now, what I did was I highlighted the days where you're on your own. You notice there's a lot more detail here. So what I did was I highlighted it so you know, okay, on Wednesday, this is what I need to accomplish. So you're going to complete the feelings about the upcoming school year survey. So this is an active link, so if you click on it, it'll take you to that survey to complete. That gives me an idea of, how you're feeling about this school year. Are you nervous? Are you anxious? And that's okay, because you know what? Quite frankly, I am too. But I'm going to give you a chance to fill that out. And then I'm going to embed a lot of different videos here, and I'll show you another place on the site where you can find these, so that when, I move the agendas or we're moving on to a new week, they'll still be available for you. But it says watch order of operations video and copy guided notes. when you're with me on Monday and Tuesday, or whatever days you're with me, I will make sure you get a copy of those guided notes as my hybrid students. For those of you who are core students, those will all be available online as well for you. But I'm going to have you watch the video. Some videos are as short as 5 or 6 minutes, some are up to 30 minutes. But you'll watch the video and copy the guided notes. As you're watching the video, it might tell you to pause the video and try the practice on your own. Please do that. Please make sure you're copying the notes as well. I'm trying to make sure that what we talk about in class is stuff that I feel like students need a lot of practice with and maybe can't do on their own. And then the stuff that I give you to do on your own may be things that you've seen before. For example, order of operations, you've probably seen before. So I feel like those are things you could probably do on your own. I like the videos because you can go back and you can rewatch them. You can listen to them again. Mom and dad can utilize them as well as an extra resource. But a lot of days you'll be watching at least one video and then copying some guided notes to go along with that. And again, if you're a hybrid student, I'm going to make sure that you have a copy of those guided notes before you go off on your virtual learning. Then the next day, there's another assignment. You notice this one doesn't actually have a video because it's a practice worksheet, which I'll give you a copy of, and then checking your answers using the answer key. I can't stress enough that when I ask you to complete an additional practice sheet or practice problems, that you do those problems and check your answers using the answer key. And if you make mistakes, correcting your mistakes. It's okay. I make mistakes. You'll probably find at least one or two of my mistakes at some point here, whether it's a grammatical error or a calculation error. We all make those. But what's really important is you don't just do it and say, okay, I'm done, doesn't matter whether I have them right or wrong. You go, you look at the answer key, you check the work, you make sure that you did it correctly. That's going to be really important. And then you'll notice Friday, and again, for my Group B students, you're going to see this exact same stuff, except yours is going to be Friday, Monday, and Tuesday of the following week. So you're going to be all at about the same spot, just slightly different based on our hybrid schedule. So this one actually has an assignment. You're going to see it says complete the order of operations practice quiz. So if I click on that, let's see, it's not yet available. I figured that might be the case. I haven't published it yet. I haven't published everything on this page for you to view currently as of Friday, I don't know, or Friday, August something, but it's before school starts, so it's not published. When you click on that, it'll take you to a practice quiz to complete, and it'll give you immediate feedback. And the directions will tell you this isn't graded based on if it's correct or not. I'm just grading you based on did you complete it? Did you try each question? Basically graded it on effort. So you'll see that in the instructions. If I'm ever grading it, I will let you know that as well. But you'll see I put here and in the directions, it's 3 points classwork grade. That has maybe 6 questions if I can remember, so it's not too lengthy. You've then got a video to watch and copy the guided notes. You notice it's just 6 questions. So I think this video is like 10 minutes long. And then it says, see me with any questions during office hours with a link to those because I will hold office hours as long as school is in session. I will hold them every Friday during your class period so that you'll be able to ask any questions. For my core students, we're still trying to figure out when we can schedule office hours for you as needed, but I mean, I'm always available via email and I'll be seeing you guys every single day anyway. So that will be a great time to ask questions. You notice that some days maybe have more than others. Um, if you don't get something done, let's say on Wednesday, just as long as if you're a Group A student, it's done by Friday or even by the end of the weekend. If you're a Group B student, you'll want to have everything completed in that virtual, I'm going to call it a block, those 3 days. Make sure you get it done before you return to school on that following Wednesday. We can have a little bit of leeway here. I know we all have lives. I know things come up, especially with multiple people possibly working from home. But basically, by the end of your virtual learning block, you're going to get 3 days worth of information completed. But again, I can't stress enough that if there's something that you're unsure of, email me. If there's something that you don't understand, come see me during office hours. Please keep in mind with email, I'm more than happy to answer questions, but I know last year during our virtual learning, I would get emails from students at 10 o'clock the night before something was due. Keep in mind, I might not be checking my email at 10 o'clock at night and be able to reply by 8 a.m. the next morning. So, just be aware of that. It might take about, 24 hours or so for me to reply. I'm generally pretty good about replying quickly, though, which my husband gets mad about because I'll be sitting there on the couch at 9 p.m. watching Real Housewives or something and replying to parent emails or student emails. But just be aware that I may not reply, within 2 to 3 minutes. At the bottom of each of these charts, I did put announcements so that if there's anything you need to be aware of, for example, make sure you get a scientific calculator for my class. That's more important than ever this year because we're not going to be sharing materials. Um, Return the parent information sheet by Monday, August 31st. Now that's going to be different for my Group B students because I don't see you on Mondays. I see you on Wednesdays and Thursdays. And then I did put down here that just giving you a heads up that there will be a graded ticket in the door on order of operations on Monday, August 31st for my Group A students. Group B, that'll be Wednesday. So let me go ahead and go back here. Let me just show you Group B students. So again, my core students, you'll just have one agenda because it's going to be the same for all of you. And I'll be available every day to answer questions. You're going to notice it looks really similar. For the first week of school, there are no expectations for Monday and Tuesday for the Group B students, but it's the same information. You notice I still have to upload the video here, so these are some things that I'm still working through before school starts. But it'll look exactly the same as it does for Group A. It'll just be bumped back a couple of days. And again, those same announcements, except I made sure to make the announcements applicable to my Group B students since I don't see you on Mondays and Tuesdays. Again, some things that'll be updated here. The video will show up. I'll have a link to that and so forth. Okay. All right, so that's a lot of information. But the reason why I spent so much time on the agenda was that's where you're going to go. If you have a question of what should I be completing today, what did we complete today, the agenda is where you need to go. Underneath first week getting to know you activities, there is a link to a survey. It's just not live at this point, so that's why you don't see anything here. But first week of school, that should show up. It'll be a link to getting to know you, not the getting to know you, sorry, it'll be the feeling survey to try to see what your thoughts are going into this school year. We begin with Unit 1, the number system. So you see a lot of information here. And again, this is going to be updated as we go through the year. It might even change between now and when you actually view this video because I'll be adding some things onto this over the next week or so, just trying to get ahead of the game a little bit. The essential question for the unit I put up here. I didn't put each lesson's essential question, just the unit essential question. And then underneath the resources, and again, you're going to have links to all these resources on the agenda chart as well. But Unit 1 guided notes, you're going to notice I have here, and I'll be adding to this as I get more sets of guided notes. But every lesson's guided notes, and if you're like, what in the world are guided notes, Mrs. Garcia? You'll see, we'll be working through those. It's basically like your textbook for the year. Since we don't use the textbook on a daily basis, this really streamlines all the important information. So when you click on these, it'll take you to the guided notes. So if I click here, you're going to notice it's going to pop up to download down here and it'll pull those guided notes up for us. So you'll be able to view those. Okay, so the guided notes are going to be really important for us. All right, let's go back to our previous tab here. All right, so I'm going to go back to modules and you're also going to notice underneath here, so we've got Unit 1 guided notes, Unit 1 guided notes answer keys. That's really important. I've been posting those for the last several years, particularly for when students are absent, but also especially here while we're working through things virtually, it's good to have those answer keys as well. So if I click on this, show you, Right now I just have the order of operations and lesson 3.1 guided notes answer keys up. But if you click on those, it'll give you the answer key for the guided notes. It doesn't mean you don't watch the videos. You definitely want to watch the videos because there's some more explanation to go with it. Anytime there's additional practice sheets, like one of the virtual assignments was to complete the order of operations additional practice and check your solutions. There you go. You've got the practice. You've got the answer key to check your solutions. And again, it's really important to use those. I take a lot of time to put all that together, so please use it. If you ever notice a mistake or something doesn't seem right, please let me know. I do make mistakes at times. It happens. Or I update things from year to year and I forget to upload the new document that I have or the newest document. You can tell I have a billion tabs open. That happens sometimes. Unit 1 videos. So right now I think I just have 2 of the videos up for the first week of school or first set. I kind of chunk it into a 5-day block, 2 class days, 3 virtual days. So there's 2 videos here. Again, there's links to these on the agenda itself, but I want to make sure they're up there in case you want to come back to it a later time and say, wait, didn't we have a video on order of operations? Yeah, here it is underneath the Unit 1 videos. So you'll be able to access that. Underneath assignments, let's see what I have here. The order of operations practice quiz. Again, there's a link to that on the agenda. That's why I said that's such an important part of the Canvas page. But you can also find that practice quiz here as well. So a lot of the stuff you're going to see in multiple places so that you can't miss it. And then there's an optional discussion that comes in, I think, at the end of week 1. It's not something you have to participate in, but since we don't have as much of that discussion time in class with only seeing each other twice a week, I wanted to also make discussions available. It's the first time I'm using that on Canvas, so we'll see how it goes. Obviously, be school appropriate and things like that on there. But I'm going to try to add those in a few times throughout the year and throughout each unit so that you have a chance to discuss some of these things as well. There's nothing underneath assessments at this point. There may be some things added eventually, but for right now, all of these other resources are what we're going to be starting with. And as time goes on, we'll be adding to all of this. We'll be adding more videos, adding more guided notes. And actually below this, well, they're going to have us put the new stuff at the top. So eventually Unit 2 is going to be up here, and then Unit 3 and Unit 4 as well. Even if we go to full class, full session, and we no longer have a hybrid schedule, if coronavirus magically disappears, then I will still be updating this as much as possible because it is a great resource. I've used my Canvas page a lot in the past to post answer keys. I may even email you some of these things as well. So I like to communicate very frequently with students and parents. But that's why I think it's important, you at least have an introduction video to this and you can kind of see where everything is. So just to highlight a few important pieces of information, you've got your home page with links to everything that you could need. Underneath the modules, again, that's going to be the most important place for you to find some things. You got your course information, which, probably the thing you'll refer to the most is office hours, which again will be held on Fridays unless something changes. The weekly agendas, if you're trying to figure out what do I need to do today? It's a virtual day, I'm at home, what should I be doing? You click on the agenda and expectations, you find the week that we're on, you find the day that we're on, and you make sure to look through that information. And again, if something isn't updated, keep in mind I'm updating Group A, Group B for both Math 7 and pre-algebra, plus I'm updating this stuff for my core students. So if something is ever missing, please let me know because it's very easy to forget something or maybe update something for one course but not the other. So again, just let me know if something's ever missing. And then again, you may not need to click on these most times because those links are going to be active in the agenda and expectations. But if you're ever looking, saying, I need a copy of those order of operations guided notes, Unit 1 guided notes, hey, there they are, click on it. it'll download it as a PDF and then you'll be able to print it out. I don't believe it's set for you to type right on it, which, for math, it's not super easy to type math out. So I know some other classes you might be typing on documents or PDFs. Here we generally won't do that. But anytime you're looking for notes, answer keys, links to the videos, if you can't find it on the chart, you're probably going to be able to find it here. Okay. I think that's a pretty good summary of what my Canvas page holds. I know we're already at 25 minutes, so it's a pretty lengthy video, but I really want to make sure you become familiar with this, not just for my class, but classes in the future. You're going to be expected to use Canvas, unless that changes, of course, by next year. But the word is we'll be using Canvas next school year, and every teacher will be asked to use that. So you might as well become familiar with this format and how to use it. And of course, if at any point you have questions for me, something you don't understand, something you can't find, either email me, see me during office hours. My core students, I'll see you every day, so you can always ask me then. This is, again, a learning experience for all of us. This is brand new, but I know that if we work together, we can get through this school year together. Thanks for listening.